It's like an escape room, except at a subway with creepy people. Hello everyone, I am the Artie Dans and welcome to Shockmania, where we're finally going to take a look at this Japanese game to movie adaptation of I enjoyed the game anyway, the interesting puzzle game Exit 8. So before we check out the review, let's see what the film and the game is about. Based on the video game of the same name, a man gets stuck in a looping underground train station exit. His only clue to escape is a sign telling him to look for anomalies in the passage, and when he discovers one, no matter if it's big or small, he has to turn around and walk in the opposite direction. If he successfully achieves this goal 8 times, he can leave, but it's not quite as simple as it seems. So normally when I do my reviews here, I like to use footage from the movie, and I will do the same for this review as well. But I need to be careful because at about the halfway mark, there's a massive spoiler, and that kind of sets a bit of a shift tone for the film. So some of the footage you're going to see in the review is probably going to repeat itself over, a bit like the concept of the movie. Now, the filmmakers had quite a bit of a task with this particular movie, I think. Now, how do you take a simple puzzle horror game that's about trying to look for an exit by finding the odd things out, and then turning that into a 90-minute movie? Well, you look towards Japan's declining birth rate and you wrap a story around a man struggling with anxiety to make a decision. Should his ex-partner keep the baby or get an abortion? Video game to movie adaptations have always been hit or miss. Resident Evil decided not to follow any of the games, but instead craft a Resident Evil world, using the same characters still. And in the end, we got 7 or 8 fairly decent movies. Now, on the other hand, Silent Hill tried to stick to the story as much as possible, but in the end, it changed the characters and the lore. For example, having a female in the first movie. That was a big change from the first game. And I haven't seen the new Silent Hill movie, so I can't comment on it, but if the ridiculousness on Reddit is to be believed, it's probably going to be a great film. But both of those movie adaptations were by Western studios, rather than the Japanese. When the Japanese remake their horror games, such as Forbidden Siren or Corpse Party, the results tend to be a little better. Between you and I, let's just ignore that abomination called Fatal Frame. Now, I'm not implying that only Japanese filmmakers can do Japanese video games justice, but they do tend to understand the source material better, except of course for Fatal Frame. The concept here is simple, it's ridiculously simple, and the movie can also be classed as a time loop film as well. The reason of which becomes very obvious at the conclusion of the film. But enough about that. How close is this film to the game? Well, in terms of looks, the underground passage is virtually identical. It's been a hot minute since I've played the game, but I don't recall the lockers and the photo booth in the game. But I'm happy to be corrected on this one if they were actually there and I've just simply forgotten. As for the anomalies that appear in the movie, they're almost all identical to the game. A few are missing, such as the misplaced accessibility markings on the floor and the security cameras on the ceiling. It actually kind of annoyed me in this film that the characters just simply refused to look up. With the exception of the Exit 8 sign, they did not look up at all. And the death anomalies that were in the game, they're kind of in the movie as well. Now, depending on how wedded you are to the game and your aversion to change, the twist that happens in the middle point of the movie will either excite you or make you turn the movie off. Now, it is quite a bit of a shift tone in the film that's not really easily explained, or not that it really could have been, but if you were paying enough attention, it probably wasn't too unexpected. You'd also think that such a simple film would be technically proficient, right? It's just one set that loops itself over and over again with a few changes here and there. Now, from a filmmaking perspective, it is technically proficient. Quite technically proficient. Cuts are very well disguised to the point where the untrained eye will assume most of what they're seeing is a series of long camera shots. There are a lot of very clever cuts in this film that are disguised by CGI or other tricks. The music stinger from the game is present with the addition of an orchestral track taken from the public domain, and that about rounds up the music. Audio is supplied with several sound effects used to add to the mood of the scene. It is what it is, nothing more. But the strength of the film lies in how it engages the audience. Now, I'm not implying that knowledge of the game and all of the anomalies within it are a must to enjoy the film, but they certainly do go a long way in helping. The camera lingers in spots where it needs to, foreshadowing an upcoming clue. My personal favorite from both the movie and the game is the poster with the security camera eyeballs that tracks the person as he walks, in this movie known as the Lost Man. Disappointingly, the movie reuses anomalies. This doesn't happen in the game until you've experienced them all. Additionally, the movie always seems to want to put an anomaly in each scene. In the game, you can go 2 or 3 loops without coming across any anomalies, but the movie just seems to want to always throw something at you and using all of the tricks up its sleeve quite early on. Having said all of that, I still very much enjoyed this film. The wraparound story might not be relatable to me, but the odd twist in the middle certainly did help keep my attention, and witnessing the elements from the game come to life on film was an exciting experience. I also really loved the way that the end credits appeared on the screen. They appear timed to the music, quite well done. So in the end, it might sound like this review is semi-negative, but it's not. It's actually quite positive. So using the patent pending ghost rating, which stands for Great Horror or Stupid Trash, 4 ghosts. That is a big score for a movie like this. A game to movie adaptation, which almost never goes exceedingly well. They go well, but not exceedingly well. Have you seen the Yakuza movie, Like a Dragon? It's actually not bad. It looks very spot on. It feels a bit different. But anyway, that's not a horror game. Have you seen Exit 8 and what did you think of it? I thought that the movie really does try and engage the audience as if you were that game player. It does use a lot of the first person perspective camera work, as well as using an interesting third person tracking camera to kind of immerse you into what's happening in the world, and the way that the film does try and linger on certain clues just to make sure that you're paying attention to what you're seeing. I am the Artie Dans and you are watching Shockmania. What did you think of Exit 8? Everyone's starting to watch Exit 8 now, so everyone's forming an opinion, and I would be interested to know what you think of this movie. Special thanks to our 3 channel members. You know who you are because your names are on the screen right now. Like, subscribe, all that other jazz, and I will catch you next time after you've told me what you think of Exit 8 in the comment below and join the Discord.